Bhutan Holidays are some of my favourite. I mean, it's such an incredibly beautiful and spiritual kingdom. They do study 4 different forms of Buddhism, and that seems to be just so apparent within their nature, within the calmness and the tranquility. And what I really love is the fact, especially for anybody who's interested in walking, that is, you know, you've just got so many opportunities, whether it's walking through pine plantations and being able to see, you know, finding, for example, you stumble across a temple and you see that you come across some monks and they're chanting, and it's all just really quite surreal and very, very beautiful. There are different types of accommodation in Bhutan. The most sort of common form is the government accommodation, if you like, which is sort of more 3-star, but then you can also go really quite luxurious in terms of the Aman group of hotels and Umaparo in Paro, where it's very luxurious, but on the other hand, it is still, I think they've done it really extremely well, because they've kept the architecture really sympathetic, and I just think, you know, it really heightens the experience. And for example, I mean, the festivals are a wonderful thing to see in Bhutan. It's part of their culture, it's really part of their religion as well. And to see any of these festivals you can in any of the cities, and it's very, very beautiful. And you see them singing and dancing, and they've got, you know, a prayer raising ceremony. And then, for example, you know, if we can arrange all sorts of things which most people actually can't and don't even know about, in terms of if you want to go and have breakfast with the Bhutanese family, we can arrange for you to go into their houses and sample the breakfast. I ended up milking some cows, which was, you know, absolutely fantastic. But for those that don't want to do it, for example, if you wanted to go into one of the dzongs, which is the major areas that you have, the most beautiful, beautiful buildings, and this is where all the monks live. And you can go and listen to them having a debate through a translator. And these are really, really lively debates. And that's fantastic too. Or, for example, you can go off, if they're in town, I say in town, I mean if they're in the area, they migrate. But the yak herders, and you can go off and spend a little bit of time with the yak herders and taste, you know, the butter and the milk that's made, learn a little bit through a translator of their way of life. But what really comes through is there is absolutely no modernity whatsoever. There's no westernization. The doors for tourism were only opened up in about sort of 1965 and then closed quite quickly when King Wangchuk decided that, in fact, you know, Western tourism was really not what he had in mind. And then relatively recently reopened the doors. And in fact, quite, you know, not very many people can go to Bhutan each year simply because there are only a very limited amount of flights, very limited accommodation, in fact, as well. And that's another charm about it, simply because it will never be a country or kingdom, indeed, that is overtaken by tourism, and everything is done at just such a gentle pace. And even for those who are really, really keen on the adventurous side of things, you know, there's tremendous cycling, tremendous walking, and of course you can also go down through the River Mo or the River Po in Punakha, where you've got whitewater rafting. Great place for families. Most families don't even think about it, but just so much on offer. And all I can say is, you know, before westernization takes place, you really have to visit it now.